What's going on, everybody? Welcome this Saturday afternoon, Eastern U.S. time. I guess Saturday morning on the West Coast, and probably in the afternoon and early evening there in Europe, and I guess everybody in Australia is sleeping. What's going on? Yeah, it was kind of funny. So I had a late night last night, and I was just getting into bed. I checked my phone, and somebody in my Discord took a screenshot of Casper being like 2.8 cents, and I was like, that's photoshopped, you know. Thinking it's so common to say AI nowadays. A few years ago we should say that's Photoshop, but I had no idea that there was the at that particular moment that the war had begun. The war makes me think of the Clone Wars end of the movie when Darth Tyrannus came. He said, "I have good news, my lord," something like that. He says, "The war has begun." Excellent. Everything is proceeding according to plan. But yeah, so I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, okay, the war had begun. And I didn't realize that 2 a.m. my time, maybe 3 a.m., depending on what coin or token that we're talking about, that was when the actual bottom had occurred. So it was already going up, right? Everything was going up by the time I woke up. I mean, it's a red day. Something called power is pumping. Hype! Goddamn hype. Doesn't want to go down. It's like, I was expecting at least going down a few dollars, you know, like maybe $3-4 or something. Right now it's all the way back up. Jesus Christ. So this is this daily candle and 25. I mean, it's crazy. I was like, man, if it goes down to at least maybe to 22, that'll be nice. But I can't seem to get into hyperliquid. Kind of nuts. Just can't get into it. Yeah, somebody asks, should they get into Housecoin right now? It's just crazy. Just 2 weeks ago, Housecoin was like 750K, and now it's like 1.5. The Bitcoin is at 65. I mean, look at that, man. It just went all the way down. Now it's just climbing back up. What's Housecoin right now? Housecoin. I'm gonna buy a house with Housecoin. All right. For those of you guys who are smart enough to get in. Yeah, it's 1.5 million, man. It's here's a nice vid. I like the content they make. Housecoin world order.
Look, the housing market was in the toilet. It was very, very bad. It was upside down. Nobody could afford a home these last 4 years, but we may just have a solution.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on with that. There's strange things in the housing market right now where the Google search term "can't sell house" is like through the roof, right? The amount of people they're searching for can't sell house, yet prices are still up high. So it's a little strange. But yeah, going back to this dip, let me some explanations I want to get into. Well, this seemingly non-existent dip, right? It wouldn't happen when I was sleeping. And yeah, I mean, it's a matter of a few. There's a few factors, right? I said that there's not enough liquidity in the market for Bitcoin to go above like 80K, right? Because you would be given a really tough argument if you're trying to explain to somebody it's going to go above 80K in like the next couple weeks or month or whatever, right? Now at the same time, you have a tough argument to explain if you want to explain that Bitcoin is going to go below like even like 59K, like at this point, right? Because it didn't even go down today to touch on the bottom, which is 59K, right? I was saying that my absolute line in the sand is 52K, right? This particular crypto winter, this bear cycle, unless there's a black swan event. Black swan is just something unforeseen or something crazy. Now, if China and Russia get involved in this particular war, then you obviously were going way below 50 52K, because everybody's selling all their assets so they can just go out and buy supplies, right? To prepare for doomsday. So yeah, you can just forget about Bitcoin if that happens. It would be like 5K. Yeah, but other than that, like, it's crazy. Now let's go back to something I touched on. Now, speaking of Google search term, not for the housing market, but Google search terms for Bitcoin. Yeah, so buy Bitcoin, I've searched to the highest levels in 5 years, according to Google Trends, which is kind of crazy. That means there's more people getting into the market, and they're creating support. They're creating, just as the 4-year cycle zombies, right? Because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're dumping. We're dumping in November, December, January, and so on, and February too. I guess some people are still doing it because they're preparing for the bottom to be in October. They don't want to get caught up in it, right? So they're causing the bottom now. So self-fulfilling prophecy. So as they were creating resistance on the market, so like we just couldn't get back up, right? Once we crossed below that 50-week moving average, because of the liquidity issues caused by the government shutdown, we just couldn't get back up. Everybody's like, okay, the bear market has started, let's dump, and they just create resistance. But now, apparently, and it's really strange now, because typically when you get surges of buy Bitcoin on Google, it's usually when there's a cycle top, usually when, there's like, all the rage and euphoria about Bitcoin. So right now, I think that word might be getting around that Bitcoin is just really low, if that's the reason for it. I mean, if somebody is new to crypto right now and you're getting back in or something like that right now, just drop a message in the comment section. Let me know, because I don't know. Whatever reason, people want to buy Bitcoin right now, so they're creating support. Maybe we won't even go back down to even 59K, even go back down to where we were, just a couple of weeks ago. So could be the case. So, and not only that, we have quantitative easing starting right now. We have been going the last 2 weeks or so, or maybe more at this particular moment, right? At this point, I would say the last 4 weeks, right? Because we had Chicago PMI come in better than expected a month ago, right? And then in the first week of February, we had the national PMI, right? Chicago PMI is regional. We had a national PMI come in. It just blew them all away, better than expected. We went into expansionary territory, and we just did it again. Now, the national PMI comes out next week, but you see this here. So Chicago PMI, right? Anything below 50 is contractionary. Anything above 50 is expansionary. Prior was 54 and expected was 52. I'm sorry. This was explosive. The last reading, which was like 1 month ago, right? Because this new one was yesterday, and it was expected to be 44, and it came out to be 54, right? So the last reading was 54. This time around, just yesterday, was expected to be 52, right? They're expecting to go down, and it was actually 57. And that resulted in, the week, last time around, a week later, their national ISM PMI was explosive. If you want to go to the charts, right here. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy if it's now, based on what we see with Chicago PMI, we're probably going to get another increase on the national PMI. When does it come out? Let's see. I think it was Monday, right? Yeah, it's on Monday. ISM Yeah, ISM PMI. The expectation is for it to be the same or slightly lower, right? 0.3 as opposed to 0.6. But now that we see that the Chicago PMI has blown away expectations, this is probably going to change as well and go higher. But can we keep that trend? If we keep that trend, we are into something good now. Let's see. The good part about it is the last PMI readings were good in quite a few sectors, right? But employment was bad, like very, very bad, and it was keeping PMI down. So even though PMI was strong enough, everything else was strong enough to take it up, right? There was still downward pressure, keeping that number down because employment was very bad. So, this is to say that, okay, maybe we didn't get our dip, and we might get our dip, right? I was talking to my community about the blood moon is happening on Monday and Tuesday, and for some reason, Bitcoin tends to dip during the blood moon. And I was saying that Trump is going to time the attack on Iran on Sunday night, just before the blood moon, and apparently he timed it on like Saturday morning. But it's just I don't know. We'll see what happens. We could dip some more. It's possible. We can go down some more. If we're going to go, are we going to go down to 59? That's up into question right now. Are we going to go back down to the bottom that we've already achieved, that 59K Bitcoin? Now it's like questionable. For me, it was questionable if we're going to go down to 52K. Right now it's starting to become questionable if we're going to go back down to 59 and touch on the bottom again. But like I'm saying, go back to PMI. The last time around, the employment was very, very bad, and apparently this time employment rose 17.5 points to its highest level since December 2024. So it's like bad, and suddenly we're getting good levels. Now, with all like employment readings going back this month, it's a shame I can't go back multiple weeks. I can only go back to last week. So what do we have last week? We had PCE, which wasn't too good. I don't know if we should be worried about that too much because those true-flation readings come out and they're saying that the Fed is using these gauges for inflation that lag, and they're old and archaic, and they lag so that the actual true inflation, the reading just given to us by the company known as Trueflation, they're saying that things are coming down pretty damn good. So we're really, really below any type of target. So a few months out, hopefully we're going to be doing pretty good when it comes to inflation. And if we're doing good with employment, now, yeah, we had initial claims. This is what we constantly see every week. Initial claims was better than expected, which is actually pretty damn good. So prior was 229, expected was 225, and then actual was 206. So we're constantly getting better than expected readings. ADP employment change, we keep increasing versus prior, and it just keeps happening like this. We had CPI and so on. PCE was bad, but CPI was good like a couple weeks back. So we could be going into a different. We could be changing this cycle. This business cycle could be just we could finally be going up rather than being into contractionary territory, like just under expansionary territory for the last 4 years, which has never happened. Like up and down continuously for, the last 80 years. This is nuts. Like 1948, it's nuts, right? And then suddenly, for the first time in history, we're just trending sideways, sort of like in minor contractionary territory. So it's like recession like nonstop. I mean, recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. But I mean, if you're contractionary for 4 years, I mean, things are not expanding. It's almost like the same thing and almost like the same feeling, right? Especially for us crypto guys, right? Crypto bros know the deal, right? The only punch we've been getting has really been from the institutional buy-in, right? And ETFs and so on. That's the only real pumps we've been getting. We haven't been getting anything from, we haven't seen our wallets pumping, right? Because the economy is booming, right? So we haven't seen people buy in because their wallet's pumping, so they can pump our bags too. You know, it's just like it's been like this for 4 years. So is it good news or bad news? Maybe we didn't get our dip, or maybe we might not even get our dip. But if we're going to go up, we're finally going to get what we wanted, right? You know, we'll see. But it's still a good time to buy at these prices, right? At these prices, does it really make a difference, right? Maybe you couldn't get in at a Bitcoin at 55K, right? But 65K, does it really matter? Because if I think what's going to happen, we're really going to go parabolic, and we're going to be this Bitcoin power law chart is usually right on right on the money. And if we do hit max resistance, and if we top out, let's say, you know, next year, like I'm hovering over September of 2027 right here, $837,000 Bitcoin, right? Even if it doesn't get there, like what is that, like a $600,000 Bitcoin? So depending on when the top is. Now, if it is this year, which I'm still not willing to entertain, right? We're still talking about max resistance 645 in October. So even if it doesn't go to max resistance, just like the last cycle didn't go to max resistance, but if it does, even if it doesn't, what is that, like a 450K Bitcoin? I still doubt it. But if this starts happening, I might be proven wrong, because I keep saying that there's no way the cycle top is going to be this year. I keep saying that. But if this starts happening, like right now, who knows? Because usually there's a lag, right? Do I have this here? This is Fred. This is funds rate. No. Oh, whatever. It's not just yeah, I mean, if we start seeing this go up right now, like that, just by, you know, like a few months from now, I don't know, March, if it just keeps on going up and up and up, kind of doubt it. I really kind of doubt it. I mean, realistically, I doubt it. It's just dreaming, but I know a lot of people are saying, there's a lot of people believing the cycle top is this year. I mean, and the reason why I doubt it is just because there isn't that much liquidity in the market. You know, there isn't that much money printing. Interest rates are still not that low, even though we just got 3 rate cuts end of year last year. It's just not that low. Yeah, we need interest rates to come down like a full couple of percentage points, right? I mean, to do anything. But you never know. There have been times, right? Quantitative easing and low interest rates are 2 different things that like have the same effect, right? To pump the economy. And sometimes, you know, the government, the Fed just chooses to do one rather than the other. So we don't know what's going to happen. So when things are really bad, like last cycle with COVID, you know, they choose to do both, like dramatically, cut down to 0 and print like crazy. And the money supply gets debased by like 40%. So, but it all depends. It all depends on the circumstances. Doesn't seem like there's a problem right now. AI bubble is probably not going to happen anytime soon. Although it is a concern in the future. A big concern. So other things I wanted to get into. So let me see. Bitcoin. Yeah, I wanted to touch on Ondo. And this was like for my last live stream, and I was talking about Linnea. and Swift. So, I was looking at, I was like saying, I want to become XRP friendly, because why not? Why the hell not? But I was asking Grok, and I was comparing XRP to Linea's partnership with Swift. And it was like native versus the overlay approach. So Ripple's XRP operates as a standalone blockchain competing directly with legacy rails. Swift's Linea pilot augments its dominant messaging infrastructure without fully displacing it. So for me, it was like, okay, so it's somewhat like XRP is in competition with Swift, right? Which is like, why would the banks want to use XRP? Like, why? It sounds much easier. So asset usage. Ripple relies on XRP as a bridge currency. Swift's model supports tokenized regulated assets, right? CBDCs, stablecoins, or bank issue tokens without mandating the specific native token. So, I mean, Swift's model is a whole lot better. So, like, what would make the banks choose XRP over Swift, which they already use, and now that Swift is is in partnership with the Linea chain, right? Adoption dynamics. Ripple has achieved attraction to select corridors and remittance providers and faces regulatory institutional hurdles. Swift's approach benefits from its entrenched position, connecting over 11,000 institutions, making gradual integration more feasible for banks. And I compare this like Android versus iPhone. Like iPhone is like, for me, it's like iPhone is like crazy difficult. Like, there was a social network a few years back. It was before Elon Musk bought Twitter, right? It was a social network called Gab, and like, it was like banned from everywhere. But with iPhone, it's like you're trapped. You can't. It's like you're trapped. Like for me, it's like, why the hell would you want to use an iPhone? Right? Because you couldn't use that Gab app. If any app in general is not allowed in the iPhone store, then you're just completely out of luck. Whereas if something is banned from Google's Play Store, there are other stores that have it as well. Or you can just download the APK file from the website of that particular, business, and to use their app. You install the app without using the store. So it makes me think like the ease of what Swift is doing in combination now with Linea is sort of like compared to the Android experience as opposed to the more rigid and difficult iPhone. But with that said, a lot of people still have iPhones. I don't understand why anyone would. And I even work for Apple. Like I couldn't convert to an iPhone because I just don't understand. Like, why the hell would you want to use an iPhone being taken for somebody who works for Apple? I use Mac. I'm on a Windows computer right now. I use Windows for like video editing and my live streams and stuff. But I mean that's besides the point. But yeah, I don't know. So I was giving this some thought, and I was like, like, why the hell would banks, like, why would hell would banks want to use XRP? Now, XRP could pump, maybe this cycle and the cycle top could do like a 4x or something. There's still people that want to buy it the same way there's people that want to buy iPhone. Most people who have iPhones, they don't even understand why. And they're mostly women too. Oh man, like I have these conversations. It's like iPhone doesn't have any external. People tell me like the iPhone doesn't have any external memory storage. You can add in another memory card into it. You're only trapped with the amount of storage space the iPhone has, and if you need more storage, you have to just go upgrade and buy a new one. I'm like, why the hell would you want an iPhone? Like, why would you want to deal with that shit? I don't know. Anyways, that's me ranting about iPhones. But I'm just saying, it goes back to the same thing. Why would you want to use XRP? It's more speculative, right? So the actual adoption, like you need institutional buy-in, right? If you want to, like, how do you think you're going to replace Swift? Like I just, the more I just thought about it, but then I was like, yeah, I was just having this conversation with God, but then I was like, the same thing applies for real world assets, right? I mean, you have like Ondo, and I hold Ondo, and I own Oregon Trail, and at the same time, you know, it's just like the whole iPhone example. People still buy it. Now, people still buy Ondo, and I think, you know, it'll pump where it is right now. Let's go take a look at Ondo. Right. I have this list I've been doing in my live streams recently. Right, because I've been adding these in. And I'm like, should I even put in my favorites list? This is my favorites list. Should I even put a section for RWAs? Because I think that would be like Ondo and Oregon Trail, which I hold, right? I'm like, I don't know, because the whole idea is that is it really needed? Right? Or is it more speculative? People are just going to buy into it just because, oh, it's pretty cool. Now, Ondo, with the market cap where it is right now and a cycle top, maybe we can do an 8x, maybe we can do a 10x. This is pretty damn low. It is pretty damn low. So, so you're talking about a few dollars worth of Ondo, but will it survive the test of time? Will it still be around in like 5 years or 10 years, right? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? So, because if banks can just make their own blockchain and tokenize real world assets, then is a third party needed? You know, I don't know. Just like, it makes me think, like, what do I consider to be a favorite and why, right? Now, Linnea obviously is my favorites list because of what I've just, you know, I've just been explaining this whole time. And it actually got that partnership with Swift. And Swift is a big dog, has already been around, and this is already accepted by every single bank in the world. It's already like, okay, you're the king. You know, it's like that. It's like, so that's why, you know, you know, it would be on my favorites list. Now, there are other things too. There's a gem. It's in the payments for it. Yeah. I was just thinking about it. There's so much crossover with you know, with narratives. So X402. Oops, I put Z. But I mean, that's besides the point. It's a private gem, right? And I think we're probably going to do like a 50x out of this. Like, who the hell knows? I think some of you guys in my community know what I'm talking about, but yeah, who the hell knows? It's like, I thought we were going to do like a 30x, or on DH and AI, we ended up doing 130x. It was crazy, and that wasn't even in the cycle top because there's some, you know, obviously, for all intents and purposes, there hasn't been a cycle top. I mean, that was some rinky-dink crap that happened in October. You know, no euphoria, no nothing. And it doesn't even look at it. It's like, if you, for everybody who says, yeah, the cycle top was in October, I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you look into the future, so I got that there. You know, if down the road, like I was saying, like if you're born today, and 20 years from now, when you're 20 years old and you're getting into crypto, and you look at this time period, you're going to see one of the most boring time periods ever. You're not going to see a cycle top, right? Because Bitcoin didn't even go above, the price of Bitcoin, 126K, didn't even go above the average power law, right? It didn't even go above it. It's just wild how boring this was. This whole sideways boringness, right? And it, like I'm saying, if you're 20 years old, 20 years from now, and you're studying how everything was playing out, you know, throughout Bitcoin history, throughout crypto history, like when you were born, and you'll realize that you were born like a really boring time period, right? So, because it's not gonna show on the chart. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, which just goes to show that the cycle top is probably going to be another year or so on. I always say end of 2027, but if PMI just keeps pumping and pumping and pumping, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe I'm going to be wrong. But for now, things have been a self-fulfilling prophecy. People just started dumping and dumping and dumping at the end of last year because they, thought we're going to a bear market. And they created resistance and didn't allow us to get back above the 50-week moving average. And now that people are like, okay, it is a bear market. It's confirmed. So now they're like, okay, now that I know it's a bear market, that means I want to get out before we hit our bottom in October. And they're dumping and dumping and dumping. We hit a bottom, like really, really early. Like, so it's self-fulfilling prophecy. So I think a lot of these people who are waiting for their bottom to happen in October, they're going to be like really disappointed. Those are the ones. The thing is, like in crypto, most people get wrecked, right? Most people get wrecked, right? And it's only the few that make a lot of money, like 10%, right? Like 90% of people are going to be wrecked. Depends on how bad and so on. Are they going to be like 80% down? Or are they going to be like 10% down, right? Then if you're in the upper 10%, right? Then there's another classification of people divided up in that group, right? Like if you're in the upper 1%, then you're making millions. Like you're probably turning like a $10,000 investment to like 5 million or something, right? Because you're probably crushing it. But I think that's what my point is, that most people are getting wrecked. So if most people think that the bottom is in October, do you really think that most people are going to like make a killing? Do you think that most people are going to be in that top 10%, right? You're like, only 10% can win, right? And if you're part of the 90% that believes that the bottom is in October, you have to do some real self-reflection. I mean, just from that alone, not from looking at the charts, not from looking at the macroeconomic indicators, just from that, right? You can take in all the macroeconomic data. You can start doing your TA, right? But at the foundation, if you're in the same belief as most people, you have to self-reflect, because that's where you might go wrong. I'm just saying. And this is not financial advice, goddammit. You know the drill. You're punching the goddamn balls. Are you out of your mind? I think this is financial advice. But where was I? I was talking about, I mean, that's the whole thing with Ondo. I'm not going to sell my Ondo because I sound like I'm turning against it. I'm just saying it's, I don't, it's not like one of my favorites. No, now that I'm looking at it from this whole Swift plus Linnea versus XRP thing, we're talking about the banks. I think that Ondo is just like, it's like the same thing. Like if you consider some meme coin without any utility, right? I just talked about Housecoin. I expect it to be crushing it, man. I expect to make a lot of money with Housecoin. It's not like it actually has a utility, like it does something. Ondo, at least it does have a utility. At least it does do something. So that's pretty good. But in the long run, maybe 10x in a parabolic blow off cycle top. Maybe it'll be a 10x, which will make you a ton of money. I have a couple $1,000s in Ondo, so I mean, why not? Make some money if I do a 10x. Yeah. Hit that like button, guys. Forgot about that. Hit that damn like button. Speaking of being friendly, did you know that the most friendliest thing that you can do today is to give that like button a pound? Seriously, I'm looking for some new friends, and if you want to be my friend, just hit that like button. I'm like the friendliest guy on the planet. Trust me. And by the way, if you don't like this video, give me a thumbs down so I can track you down and beat you senseless. That's true. Not only hit the like button, but drop a comment. I notice you guys are being like crazy quiet recently. I got like 9 people watching, or I just dropped to 7. Yeah. I mean, there would be times I have like 5 people watching and like comments nonstop. And like my last live stream a couple of days back, I had 30 people concurrently watching and hardly any comments. You guys are getting quiet, man. As if maybe have newbies watching me. Like you're just trying to gauge crypto or something like that. Is that what it is? I'm trying to figure out what everything is all about. Yeah. What else we got going on? We got this. Oh, here it looks. SEC Paul Atkins called crypto regulation under Gary Gensler a big missed opportunity for the United States.
Well, duh.
And says the agency is now racing to make up for lost time. Well, hopefully, so we can get that PMI pumping. We can get our bags pumping, and be doing good from there. So, other than that, for anybody who's a newbie, you got the greatest crypto community ever. If you click that link in the description below, we had some amazing gains that are like absolutely insane. Even like we got a goddamn 85x in this bear market. We just hit an 85x with Pippin. Pippin just it was just like a week ago and up to 85x. It's just nuts. It was like 10 million back in October. It's absolutely insane. It's dipping right now, so you might as well buy the dip. Yeah, buy the dip. This is not financial advice, but pretty much almost everything is at a good price. I mean, even hype, right? I don't know. I'm trying to wait till hype goes a little bit further down. But I don't know if I'm going to get it. It might be as good as ever to get into some hyper liquid. Yeah, and you could be looking at like from here, maybe a 6 or 7x. Let's see how hyperliquid is the king. It's the king of the DEX narrative, right? So it is gonna be doing good. Let's see. I was just hoping to get it up a little bit lower, and it's pumping again. It's unbelievable. It's pumping today of all days, like right now. Oh, you know what? It just makes me feel like, what could I do? What could I do? Reminds me of Farcoin, like during tariff season, like 1 year ago. Anyways, I don't know. Almost everything is going to be doing good. I mean, not everything, but a lot of things are on a really, really good deal right now. But aside from that, yeah, talking about the greatest community ever. Yeah, I got a getting started course in here for anybody who's new, anybody who's searching buy Bitcoin right now. If you're new to the market or if you're just getting back in, you want to learn more, I got a getting started course in my community. You can, what is this? They're constantly changing their user interface. So, all right, so yeah, is it the getting started crypto trading crypto? I am already in the mix of making another trading course that only premium members can access, because there has to be some more differential between VIP and premium. Currently, the only difference between the two is that premium members can just contact me at any time. But you get all the same benefits with a VIP. So if you want everything, if you want those 100Xs, you can get in still with a VIP and you can get it. But you got to get in, Exactly. Right? You gotta get in if you want to get those. Like an 85x on Pippin. Crazy, right? Only people in my community got that. You got Asta already and got in at 43 cents. I think there's more upside than hype. Yeah, it could be. I was considering that. I was kind of sour with Asta originally. And the reason why I was getting in early on, like, MYX, another DEX narrative. I did that 550X, right? Like I'm saying, you guys. That's right. 550x on MYX. Within like 4 months from the time I called it. It's crazy, right? So if you wanted to turn $100 into 50 grand, you would have been in my community, right? But yeah, I also got the Avantis. I did the 10x on Avantis and so on. I was getting into these dexes early. I got into another couple of them. They didn't really do much. And they still could. You never know. So, but with Aster, I know that thing is just like, it just went up to like a 600 million market cap, like at launch. I was like, damn, I couldn't get it low. But yeah, I was looking at it recently. I mean, it could be like a good buy right now, but you know, compared to hype, like, do I want to buy both, or do I want to buy, you know, one or the other? I get your meaning right now. You know, it's probably, you probably get more multipliers out of Aster than you would with hype. Maybe double the amount of multipliers or something like that, maybe more, right? So if you give like Hyperliquid an 8x, you might get like a 16x or something like that out of Aster. Who knows what's going to happen, more or less. But in general, I'm just saying you probably get many more multipliers out of Aster. So yeah, but like I got plenty of tokens. I got tons of tokens. Things that I buy from my insider alert because I have highly advanced bots, right? Highly advanced bots that call these. And I'm trying to encourage, I think at this point, I'm trying to encourage some of my members to just look around if you want to like consider them degen trades, because we do call a lot of them, even when I don't call them personally, like I don't call them. The bot calls these things every single day, and most of them are good. Like somebody talked about White Whale the other day in my live stream, and I realized that my bot had called it. And then you know, I was like December, and then it was like a few days later, it did a 10x. Like I didn't play it just because I was like, you know, we're in a bear market, too risky. I just don't want to. I don't want to start buying into a whole bunch of new tokens. But yeah, I mean, the bot does it, and he finds them. So you ain't got no community like this. The amount of effort put into making this goddamn thing. There's no wonder why you want to join. And it's cheaper. Imagine that. I got cheaper prices. You got communities out there charge like $150, $200 a month. Don't get hardly anything that my community offers. And yeah, and it's actually cheaper. So click that link in the description below. Other than that, got this. I got. Oh, you know what? Yeah, because of this thing with PMI. This week, right? Because of this, I was like, because we're making a comeback. Like we are so fucking back, you know, as you know those memes, right? We're making a comeback, right? And it's just like going fast. Like I didn't expect PMI to be going up right now. Like totally, I didn't expect it. I thought. The way this thing, I thought it was just going to be chopping sideways for another few months, right? And then maybe when the Fed chair gets in, the new Fed chair replaces Jerome Powell in May, and I thought maybe PMI would start going up, but it's going up right now. It's just crazy. It's unexpected, and I was like, okay, maybe I should add like LL Cool J in my stream deck, right?
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Don't call it a comeback. Yeah, I don't know if I should put that in. That would be nice. Don't call it a comeback when you see something like this, man. It's nice. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to see things going up for a change. I think, in my opinion, I think things are going to be going up for a long time. Like, I think we're going to be going up. I don't know if we're going to take out a new all-time high with Bitcoin this year. I mean, we could, but I think by October, when everybody expects to be at a new bottom, I think that we're probably going to be above the 50-week moving average again in October. All right, and everybody's going to be like, "Whoa, but I thought Bitcoin was going to go down to 30K. No." and they're going to be the biggest losers, right? Yeah, I think we got some really, really bullish times ahead, like unimaginably bullish, like better than last cycle, right? With we had the I guess, I don't know, the residual of all the money printing from COVID and stuff like that. We had something like phenomenal in 2021, right? But I think this time around, we're going to get, interest rates are going to be lower. We're going to get more QE. We're going to get, I think Trump wants to run the economy hot. And on top of that, we have something new. We have the productivity, right? There's going to be an air bubble. No, don't get me wrong, right? Things are going to get bad eventually. But before it gets bad, we have the productivity increase that's going to come out of AI. And it's going to be explosive. And then people are going to be buying into anything AI stocks, AI crypto, right? They're going to go for the lower caps. Right, they're not going to go like whether it be stocks or crypto, right? They're probably going to go for the lower caps. They're going to push everything up. It is going to be like absolutely insane. I think it's going to get started like this year. I don't know about the very end of year, but like maybe we're going to see okay, we're going to be like, okay, yeah, for sure, like we're getting started by the summertime. And you know what? We could be saying that as early as like a month from now. We'll see what happens with the national PMI that comes out on Monday. But when it comes to regional, we did it again. We did it again. We're expansionary again. It's like it's crazy, right? Google Chicago PMI. So let's see what the Google Gemini says. Chicago PMI for February 2026 surged to 57.7. Yeah. Significantly beating the 52.0 through 52.8 consensus forecast and increasing from January's 54. Right? This indicates a strong accelerant expansion in regional manufacturing, the highest level in nearly 4 years. Right? Key drivers included gains in production, employment, and new orders. Let me repeat that again. Employment and new orders, right? This is big time, right? So, I mean, if this trend keeps happening, we could be like, okay, we got this. Like, well earlier than expected. We're like, okay, it's true. Things are going up. We're gonna be like relieved. And I was thinking that's gonna happen like in the summertime, but I mean, it could happen sooner. So this is like totally catching me off guard. I didn't expect this to be this soon, but we'll see. We shall see. Right now, we have to. I don't know. We have to hope there's going to be another dip with the blood moon, because the blood moon for some reason causes blood moon makes BTC dip. Historical data suggests a likely coincidental correlation to the blood moon events, significant Bitcoin price drops, with notable dips occurring during or near these time periods in 2008, 2021, and 2022. While many view this as mere superstition, traders often monitor dates for increased volatility. So, the blood moon is coming. Hold on, let me so this is showing us some pics of a blood moon. Yeah, blood moon. I have no idea what this is all about. I have no idea what causes it. I mean, I tend to like astronomy here and there. I think things about space are cool, but I don't know anything about a blood moon, to be honest. I have to look it up, figure out what it is all about. But so historical examples in January 2018, Binance reported a blood moon coinciding with a fall from 10K to 20K. March 2021, a super blood moon. A super blood moon coincided with a drop from 58K to 30K. In November 2022, a blood moon appeared near the FTX collapse. Oh my god, a blood moon appeared near the FTX collapse. So apparently it was summoned by Sam Bankman-Fried. And the drop in BTC to 15K. And then, in September of 2025, a blood moon marked a peak of 126K. So that was it. That was why we had that top in October. It was because of a blood moon. Like, oh man. Oh. I don't have one of those face palms on my stream deck. All right, but yeah, upcoming event is scheduled for March 3rd. So March 3rd, I think 2nd and 3rd I was reading. So Monday and Tuesday. All right, March 3rd, Monday and Tuesday. So I think that's the only thing we can hope for in terms of a dip, if we want to see any dips. So there's two things that can cause a dip between now and, I don't know, for foreseeable future. One is a blood moon, and two is some black swan event. I don't know what it is. Black swan event is, the definition of a black swan event is something which is unforeseen, that you had no possible way of predicting it because it just happens. Now, you could speculate, right? You could say, Iran drops a nuke on Israel, which is unlikely. Maybe they were making it all this time and then they do something, shit like that happens. Or maybe Russia and China gets involved, and that'll definitely bring Bitcoin down, because then everybody's going to be buying supplies to try to go into a bunker or something, right? Something like that. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. The final lunar eclipse on a series of 3 has traditionally marked bottoms in crypto. This one on 3/3 will be the 3rd in the series. Okay. I don't know what I say. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see what's happening. I was like, it can't get more perfect than that. That Trump usually likes to do craziness on the weekend, or more like on Sunday night or even on Monday or something. But usually this craziness happens on the weekend. That was like yesterday. I was like, it would be interesting if Trump, just attacks Iran on Sunday night, and then we have a blood moon right afterwards. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you guys, click that like button, click that subscribe button. There's this huge disparity between people watching and people who click the like button. This kind of gonna track you down and beat you senseless, or I'll punch you in the goddamn balls. That goddamn like button. Was going on a date with a girl, but she flaked. Back to researching. Thanks for what? Oh, just now? She flaked out just now, and back to researching characters. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, I'm going to be heading out right now. I was thinking to do a live stream early in the morning. Right now, it's almost 2:30 for me. I was thinking to do a live stream early because of the whole war situation, right? But and then I started noticing that things were just going up. They're like the bottom already happened before I even woke up, and then things are going up and up and up. And I was like, oh, maybe there's no rush to do a live stream, because it's like, it's it's not like a pressing issue where I, it's just, tell everybody, yeah, it's time to buy the dip, it's going down, but it's just like, it's not, it's just, it's the same old sideways boringness, right? So we're just bouncing around. And we're just back to where we were 24 hours ago. So a quick recovery, which proves that there is strength in the market right now. For those of you who joined late, yeah, I mean, like I said, that I touched on the idea that the Google trend shows that the phrase "buy Bitcoin" is nearing a high, right, at the highest point in 5 years, which indicates a lot of people are starting to come in and buy Bitcoin. Which is true. I mean, we're at 16 right now. I had 30 people concurrently my last live stream. Like a couple of weeks ago, man, I would have like 4 or 5 people concurrently. But yeah, maybe traffic is picking up on my channel too. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, have a good weekend, and I will catch you guys later.
Code Monkey, Code Monkey.